Okay. Well, it's always good to get started. Come back here at the end of July. After we've been through the spring and gotten to the point we got to at the end of OTAs and get started. New year, starting all over again. A lot of new challenges. Some great competition out there. We'll see it all through training camp in our scheduled workouts with Jacksonville, Houston, and Detroit. So a lot of work to do. We're just going to take it one day at a time. Try to go out there and accomplish things every day. Try to continue to get better, improve on the things we need to work on. There are obviously a lot of things that we did in the spring that we made some progress on, and then there were a lot of things that we weren't able to do because of the restrictions that we had in the spring that we'll deal with here in training camp, and as it relates to contact and technique and leverage and that kind of thing. That'll be a big emphasis for us here in camp. So, looking forward to getting going, but just take it one day at a time. Try to put one foot in front of the other, build good fundamentals, build a good base, and see where it takes us. It's be a long haul, but I think we're all excited to get started.
Bill, did every player show up today?
We'll have an update on the roster at some point.
Is it too early to assess the condition that the players came back in terms of like the testing and stuff? Like, what is your thoughts on the condition of the team?
Yeah, players reported today haven't done anything. Players that were here Monday were there.
You mentioned Detroit. Are you guys, do you have any practices planned with them, or just the preseason game?
Oh yeah, we'll be working with them too.
So you'll be doing 3 different joint practices during the preseason?
That's right.
What, usually you guys do 2. What made you want to do a third one?
We thought it would be beneficial to our team.
Will that be here, Bill?
No, we play in Detroit.
Makes sense then.
Yeah, no, they're not going to come here. We're going to, yeah.
Since we talked to you last, you signed David Harris, the linebacker who became available. What drew you to him?
We thought he'd be competitive with our team, be able to help our team. So we'll see how it goes.
He hasn't even practiced, I don't think, with the team, but just from being around him, what have been some of your first impressions of having him in the building?
Well, David's an experienced guy. He's played a lot of football. He's been in this division. There's pretty good familiarity with our opponents. But, yeah, we haven't worked with him, so, we'll see how it goes. But, he's had a, very productive career. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully he'll be able to help us.
David Harris had like a string of a few seasons where he didn't miss a game. Does that sort of durability appeal to you at all?
Well, there's nothing more important than the health of the players. So, but look, those are all other years in another situation, another team. So, they are what they are. They're in the books. I don't know if they really mean anything for this year. This year for all of us. None of us have done anything. We all have a long way to go. We all have a lot of work to do. So, we're all in the same boat. We're all pulling the same oar, and that's where it is right now. Doesn't really matter what happens some other year, some other place, some other time.
Is the process of signing an older veteran player different than signing a guy who's only been in the league for 1, 2, 3 years? Why is that process different?
Every player is different, so every draft choice is different. Every veteran player is different. Every player is different.
Does the backlog of experience that he has just in the league, Bill, that help him acclimate to your system a little bit more, even though it's a new system to him?
I don't know. We haven't met with him. He hasn't practiced with us, so I don't know.
You mentioned when Mike asked if every player had reported, you said there'd be an update on the roster. Will you guys be adding to, I believe you have 2 open spots, will you be trying to add 2 players before practice starts tomorrow?
I don't know.
Coach, I was reading a national publication earlier in the week, and it just had me wondering, would you be more apt to go with a piercing death stare or just exhibit utter disgust if somebody asked you about your team being hyped to go undefeated this season?
Yeah, right now we're just trying to have a good day here today, get off to a good start in training camp. We're not really worried about, all that's in the future. That will come when it comes.
I think I would have been better off reading the July issue of Nantucket Magazine
For what?
for reading instead of talking about you guys going undefeated.
I don't know.
I have a question regarding an old player, Sebastian Vollmer. He ended his career from German media, so the question maybe sounds a little cheesy, but do you miss a guy like him after all these years when he ended now his career?
Sebastian was a great player for us. Played a lot of football. Played very well at a very young age, his rookie year, against some great players. Freeney, Mathis, guys like that. Unfortunately, he didn't play for us last year. I mean, he's here, but he never actually got to play. So, we've had kind of life without Sebastian on the field for a year. But yes, we miss him. But you understand, that's the way it is in this game. So he's moved on, and we wish him well. We appreciate everything he's done for us. He was a great teammate, great player for us, and he came a long way in the time that he was, from when he was in Houston to his rookie year here, and played a lot of great football for us on both sides of the line, left tackle and right tackle. Great player to coach, work with, tough, great teammate. A lot of respect for Seabass.
Bill, there do seem to be a lot of big expectations around this team. How do you sort of block those distractions out at this point in camp, even though you guys really have to start there?
Yeah, we're focused on one day at a time, like I said. I guess I've missed some of the great reading that you guys have had, but honestly, I don't really pay any attention to it. Sorry.
We obviously have Matt and Josh back as coordinators for another season here. Wondering how important the consistency that they bring, obviously it's 2 guys that have been in the program for a long time. How important is the consistency that they bring, not only for the players, but for you and the rest of the staff as well?
All right, well, we have a lot of consistency on our entire staff, so thought that was very helpful this year. The relatively short off season. Those guys were able to, when I say those guys, the entire staff, we were able to, get into things pretty quickly. There wasn't really a, catching new staff members up or bringing them up to speed or going over things. I mean, pretty much everybody's been through everything that we're doing, both in the off season, in the regular season, our game preparations and so forth. Not that we don't have a lot of work to do. I'm not saying that, but at least we have a level of experience of all doing it together. So, yeah, it's good.
When you look at the rest of the league, there's only a handful of coordinators that have had their positions as long as Matt and Josh. How fortunate do you feel when you look at that situation, just to have the same faces back?
Yeah, I feel like we have a good staff. These guys work hard. They all do a good job. And Joe, Matt, and Josh they do a great job in their respective units. But I think our entire staff does a good job. They work together on their respective sides of the ball. They work together with each other, offense, defense, special teams, and training camp, and during the season and so forth. So, it's a good cohesive staff that works well together. We have a lot of good people. Yeah, very fortunate.
Bill, training camp starts tomorrow. Typically, how far into training camp do you get a sense for what kind of a team you're going to have for that season?
Yeah, I don't know. Just keep grinding it out day by day and do the best we can every day. That's really the way I approach it.
How important is the consistency you guys have in the O-line, having returned all 5 guys from last year, and
some of those guys still in their second and third years, we figure we continue to improve.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, we'll see how it goes. You know, we have the players that are back are back. We have new players that'll be competing with them. We'll just have to see how it all unfolds. I mean, look again what people have done some other year, whether it's me, a coach, a player, or anybody else. It's really meaningless for the 2017 season. So we'll see what happens this year. You know, we all have a lot to prove. Nobody's done anything this year yet, so we'll see how it goes.
Coach, you're going to have thousands of fans out there over these first few days. How might that affect the overall energy of any given workout in the training camp?
I've had them out there before. So training camp's training camp, you know. There'll be a lot of people in the stands. There'll be a lot of people watching on TV. There'll be a lot of people at training camp. You know, in the end, we all have a job to do. We all have something that we'll need to accomplish, whether it's in practice or during a game, whatever our role happens to be. We'll have to go out there and do it for us to get any better. That's the only way we can improve is to go out there and do our job and get better at it. Sure, we'll have a lot of people telling us how we're doing, but, you know, it's the way it always is.
I felt like conditioning was a big part of the last game you guys played, obviously. Would you say that the foundation for a well-conditioned team really begins in training camp this time of year?
No.
When does it begin?
In the offseason.
But when it comes to that, just how much has Moses changed the routine when it comes to that in the season?
Quite a bit. Yeah, quite a bit.
In what respects, if you can?
Just the program that he runs, and which encompasses everything, you know, speed, strength, power, explosion, rest, recovery, which again, there are a lot of other people besides him involved in that, but you know, on his end of it, I think he's done a great job, and you know, giving our players a chance to compete at the highest level and perform close to their peak performance. Again, there are a lot of other things that go into that, but that's been a big part of it.
Just real quick, guys, we've got about a 10 or 12 minute window if you want assistant coaches too. You can head out, they'll be out underneath the bridge here. We'll continue for a couple more minutes.
So in light of the study that you released yesterday on CTE, I'm wondering what your reaction is to that and what preventative measures that the league has taken in the last few years to kind of curtail that.
Right. Well, I think the league addressed it. I don't really have much to add to the statement that they released. But obviously it's an important area that is being given a lot of attention, as it should.
Bill, you obviously love the game, and I know you work with younger people involved in the game, your foundation. Do you ever worry, or is there ever any concern on your part about the future of the game when a study like that comes in?
Yeah, well, again, there are a lot of studies out there. I'm not a medical expert. That's not really my field, so I think we'll leave that to the people who are doing it.
Two final questions.
What about just this time of year in general? I mean, you've been coaching for a while and you've certainly achieved a lot, but don't you still enjoy just the starting over and building the team from scratch aspect of this?
Yeah, well, I don't really think we're going from scratch, Ben. I think we put a lot into the off-season program, put a lot into the spring. I think we're at a point now where we're ready to move into the next phase of it. And then there'll be a later point in time when we'll move into another phase of it. And so this is where we are. So we'll hopefully make the most of the opportunities that we have going forward to put our team in the most competitive position. We have a lot of decisions to make, and a lot of those will be made for us by the performance of the players and the team and so forth, but we'll still be involved in that. So it's that phase of it. But yeah, it's part of the team building phase. It's good to get going.
Final question. Okay.
All right.